Travel Glam again. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Today, I want to blog on two topics: the advantages and disadvantages of locs, and a really quick talk, because as you know, my blog is called Today's Piece, and it's all about holistic things, holistic health. So I want to also blog quickly on how you can tell if you really love someone. And this is a blog I think that men especially should probably watch. I know most of my viewers are probably women because I'm a woman, and it's a shame that that's how life is, you know. But I hope that some guys will see this blog, because I think that we, you know, as women, especially with the onslaught of strippers, pornography, and sexually based living, where, you know, a rich man has a much easier time getting several women and doing what he feels like with them than a poor man, and so on. We get a situation where, you know, people equate sex with love still, which most of the time, you know, both of them don't go together at all. So, but we still get children from men who do not love us, which means somehow we equated sex with love, or else we would have protected ourselves and done better. And outside of that, yeah, and outside of that situation, there's a whole bunch of women who have made men think of other women as objects. And, you know, rather than really looking at who a person is, we are so caught up with their shape or certain aspects of them that we're attracted to, that we often forget what's most important. And I just wanted to do this. I just want to say this quickly. You know, this is my piece on it, and that's this. Listen to me. Listen to me. When a person is everything that you want them to be, that is nice, but I will call it attraction. It's not love. It's all cool for a person to be good looking and have all their stuff together. I'm a person, I believe in that. You want somebody to walk about with that you don't have to be ashamed of. You like people that have clean fingernails. Me, I like to look at people's toes and things. You want somebody that breath doesn't smell stink and that know how to dress or whatever. Fine, right? Fine. But understand that, like when I was little as a child, I would hear people talk about, oh, you know, when the person wake up and got a cold in the eye, you don't want to see them or whatever. Silliness, immaturity. Especially adults looking for love. I wish that we would start to look at the whole person, at the person whose hair isn't done, at the person who does not have their stuff together, at the guy who in the toilet forever stinking at the house, whatever. Look at the whole person and not just the image of the person, or this smiling perfect guy like you saw Shamar Moore or some guy on TV and you're in love with. That's my first thing. And my second thing about the whole idea of love versus attraction is, suppose the person lost some of their looks tomorrow. Suppose they lost a limb. Suppose, you know, they were sick and unable to work out or to work or whatever. If at that point, when you think the person has lost some level of the attractiveness that they have right now, or lost their job or whatever, the only thing you could think of is, child, X you off or X you off and let me find somebody else, then you are very, very far from loving that person. Because if your mother or your father or your family member, which if you're looking to love somebody and have a committed relationship, you are looking to make them a family member by making them a parent to your children and by marrying them or becoming one with them. If a family member was to get hurt, that would not change your love for them, and you would be devastated because of their pain, and try to help them in every way you could. And that, I think, is one of the main ways to know your love. Not butterflies or sexy texts or, you know, the things that the person says make you hard or wet or whatever. Those things are nice, you know, the whole lust stage. And I think lust is important even when you do have love, because that's what is the basis of romantic love. However, if it is that you're in a position where those are the things you think of when you think of a person, but you can't think down the lane of if the person get in a car accident tomorrow, you know, if you can't think of, oh, this person in a bind, how can I have their back? then you are very far from developing love with that person, and you might as well just accept that you have a crush on them and move on, because they're not touching the right buttons in your soul, and a relationship cannot exist and thrive without the important foundation of a deep, strong, enduring love, which, you know, surpasses being hurt, being, you know, women, we go through some issues, you know, certain times in our relationship we can't have sex, or we might have some sort of problem with our womb, or, you know, we get all sorts of things wrong with us. Men, especially men who are into anything athletic, are often getting injured or whatever. Are you willing to be there for that person when they are down? Stop worrying about if you're willing to be there for the person when they're up. Yes, everybody want you because you're sexy. And that means nobody really wants you. They want your sexiness, and that is it. You have been objectified, and you should not be proud. You should not be proud that you have been reduced to the first thing that people see, and that is it. Build up yourself as a person so people can know more about you. Because if that is all there is about you, everybody will say she's sexy, but she's a bitch, and no one cares. Okay, so that's that. The topic today is the advantages and disadvantages of having locks. As you can see, I have this little cutesy hairstyle. I really like this one. This is basically what them is called a Bantu knockout. We will call this corkscrew. So I twist up my hair in some medium to small, not small, let's say medium corkscrews, and knotting them up. And then when I finished knotting them up, I just left them and did all sorts of stuff, and then I took them out. And this doesn't take a long time. I don't part it with a comb, which is another thing I'm realizing about my natural hair. My natural hair and combs are not friends, and I'm not parting my hair at all with combs. It's not working out for me. I use the big teeth comb when my hair is wet to detangle my hair, or the afro pick to pull it up a little, but the combs and me is not getting along. So right, what was I saying? Right, so my hair, yes, I think it's very cutesy, and I am definitely having fun with my new natural hair, even though I had natural hair before, in its natural state without being locked, as my friend Malarkey pointed out to me, because locks of course are natural hair as well, and actually in a way more natural than this if you're talking about freeform locks, because if you leave your hair alone, it will form into freeform locks. If you have, well, almost any kind of hair actually. I used to talk to a guy that was white and Indian mixed, and he used to wear his hair in one every day, and one day when he went to comb it, because he just used to be wetting it and pulling it in one every day, he had a big lock about this long and ticked like a bongo in the middle of his head then, and he didn't know. So yeah, advantages. The main advantages I think of having locks are: number one, superb updos, all the updos. And the thing about locks is that you really find yourself doing mostly updos, mostly up, like up in one, pin up. Leaving your hair out all the time isn't what you do from the time your hair starts to get long. That's be like in between stage, but as soon as your hair get long, I find you're always finding some updo. And the cool thing about it is because you've twisted it, the twist stays better when it's tied up a little bit. So yeah, superb updos of all kinds. So anything, the little Amy Winehouse hump in the front of your head, you know, you want to do a lock hawk with enough, all sorts of styles, updos are great. The second advantage of locks is low maintenance. It used to take me about 20 minutes to relock my hair. You know, the most thing you would use more shampoo, yes, but I found you could relock your hair very quickly. Third thing I love about obviously if you want to do a style that requires blow drying, but I'll talk about that later. It would take more time because that's a disadvantage, not an advantage, and we're doing advantages right now. Another advantage of having locks is generally tougher hair, so you can do more stuff with it without your hair breaking or dropping out. You can put peroxide in it and become platinum blonde and not sit down and worry about your hair as much as if it was not locked. Although I don't think platinum might be good because that's really weak hair there, but you can get far as far as dyes and doing stuff to your hair is concerned, and your hair will look and feel basically the same way. And you know, the other thing is that the root remains strong. Your hair is growing and grows faster that way because there's no manipulation. So so locks have a lot of advantages, especially when it comes to low maintenance. get impressive looking hair. Because my thing is, why have hair if it can't be impressive looking? Why have hair and it's just at best cute? It doesn't look good really. You know, hair is part of your beauty, and you should use it to beautify yourself as a woman, especially. I find and men too. I like to see men doing something with their hair that complements their looks, not just have it there. What's the point in just having it there? Make it look good if you have it and it's a part of you. Take care of it, and that's the point about locks. You don't have to worry so much about all these treatments and all these things. Your hair will grow healthy. Especially with me, I was using natural oil because I have a problem with using too much products, and you know, there was no leave-in conditioner or anything like that. And those are the advantages, I believe, of locks. You know, that quick growing hair that you can dye up as much as you want. The disadvantages of locks are the longer they get, the harder they are to curl if they're not sister locks. Sometimes you get lint in your hair, and it's, you know, it drives you nuts, and you try very hard to get it out, but there's lint in there. And I think sometimes the lint actually helps some of the locks stick together, so when you take them out, sometimes you lose a lot of hair. I would use a pin or something when I found lint in my hair to remove it. So yeah, it's sometimes hard, especially, you know, it's not really, I think, a respectful thing to do, to be running about town eating ham cutters with locks. Especially 10 years ago, it wasn't seen or heard of. Nowadays, there's people understand that lots of people have locks, but then it wouldn't be like a Portmore Rasta, and people would take pictures of you and put you online, boy. Well, if they were using Facebook already, because I don't think Facebook was around yet. But yeah, some other that's not really a disadvantage, but it can be. But some other, I would say, disadvantages to locked hair, besides the curling, is then if you can't curl it, you end up with a lot of straight styles and updos. And for people who like a lot of pinups, they sometimes stress the sides of their hair and lose it. An advantage I forgot to say though is that once your locks come off, you can even get them put back on, so you can actually have a damaged area, nurse it back to life, get some nice fresh hair growing there, and then reattach your lock if you lose your lock from an area or something like that. Another disadvantage of locks is that they get dirty. Your hair sometimes get very long, and you can't go on the bus or whatever, you might end up sitting down on your hair, or your hair end up touching a lot of stuff. And as I said, it gets lint in it, but not just lint, I mean it actually is dirty. And then to wash your hair, you need a lot more product for washing. But overall, I would still say it's a lot cheaper product wise than this unlocked hair that I have right now. The other disadvantages of locks, I'm not sure if I can think of any more right now. I had a list and thing, you know, but as a mad head, I don't know where I put the list. I wrote a list of comprehensive list that I could come and read, but I don't know where I gone and lost it. But yeah, so I'll talk about the advantages and disadvantages of unlocked hair, and then you'll see. The advantages of unlocked hair is the varying styles that you can do. You can have your hair out, you can have your hair braided, you can put in braids, connect along, all sorts of different stuff, and do different looks. So there's a lot of diversity when your hair is not locked up, because if your hair is locked, it might get too big to put even under a wig, so you get limited in the hairstyles that you can do. The other advantage is you don't get lint and different things in your hair like that. A lot easier to wash your hair. Another advantage is you get the fro look, so you get to do all sorts of big curly looking styles with your hair. Another advantage I would say is when your hair is like this, you can go from curly to straight by there's no heat straightening methods, which are okay, but then there's also flat ironing, or you know, temporarily straightening your hair, which I think is fun, because then you really get the best of both worlds look wise. The disadvantages are your hair is turned back fast. Like for me, every time I work out, my hair is shrinking. So the other day I did my hair in the not curl, what do you call those now, the flexi rod set. I put on a headband, I trained, I thought my hair looked fine, but by the time that I had bathed, and was getting ready for bed. My hair had started to turn back, and right, so now I come to edit my blog. I see that my blog ain't finished properly. I don't understand this camera and me, you know, Samsung, me and you gonna have a couple words anyway. Yeah, I was dealing with the disadvantages. So one of the main disadvantages, disadvantage I find for my hair now that I don't have locks anymore, is this turning back thing. What is this? So I put my hair in a style, I go and work out, next minute I know my hair gone back, meaning my hair is no longer curly, or it's shrunk back in, because you do get shrinkage. That's another disadvantage. I really like how my hair looks, you know, shrunk in. I think it's cute, but if I do a style which was done with stretch hair, I don't want my hair to shrink back. You know, this is the length of my hair. So if I do a style with stretch hair and I have that length, I don't want my hair to just shrink back on me. I need a little bit more time with it. And my thing is, I'm not, you know, so great at using a lot of products. I've seen people do styles and stuff that I've tried so far. For instance, put in shea butter and like a little bit of mousse or whatever, and then using that to hold the hair, and I'm not getting the results that I want. The hair looks good, but then it turns back too quickly. This style, as I said, I like because I realized that I can do this style. I can do this in the night, or I can twist up my hair in the night while I'm watching TV or whatever, and then the next day, you know, I have a hairstyle or whatever. The other thing about this is that sometimes if you're not going anywhere, you will really feel like if you don't want to take out your hair out of the protective styling or the set, and that's a waste to me of life, because you've got your hair, you know, you're walking around with your hair just tie up or not looking as good as you possibly could look, because you're saving your hairstyle for a special event. It's kind of like walking around in rollers almost, and you're tempted to do that because you had to put work to put it in, so you want to make sure that it comes out for a good reason. But I think anything is a reason to try to look nice, you know. People don't have to see you looking pop down, you know. And in my case, you know, they're gonna say, oh, look at she rubber glam, but she don't look nothing like, oh, she look on TV. I know they're gonna say that anyway. It doesn't really bother me, but I don't want them to say that I working about pop down. That is different. Another disadvantage I would say of this hair, you know, just in general, I would not say is like a disadvantage per se, but just as I was saying, the hair is a lot more work, and then the styles might not last as long as you would want them to. And another disadvantage is you cannot be as willy-nilly and free to dye up your hair and bleach it and whatnot, because you will damage your hair. And it seems like length is a really big deal to a lot of people who are naturalistas. They want to know that their hair is growing, they want to see length. And you know, there's some bloggers out there with some fabulous natural hair that's really long. You want your hair to be long too, but the truth is that you need to do stuff to protect your ends, and bleaching and all the things that I like to do are things that damage your ends, which will make them break, and then your hair will not appear to be growing, even though it will be. I would say definitely though, clip your ends of your hair. You know, get out your flat iron, you know, make sure your hair has been conditioned and whatnot. Get out your flat iron and give yourself a little semi-straight, and then clip all your ends just to make sure your hair is healthy. That's the other thing, all this conditioning and the leave-in and detangling, it can be a lot. And for that reason, I do know that I am going to go back to locks eventually, but I am just enjoying this journey right now. Who knows, I might get some big hair like Shaka Khan, and then I might feel like, hey, well, I don't want to go back to locks. But I do love locks, and I don't miss my locks yet, but I could see myself missing them, and especially because they are way more low maintenance than my hair currently is now that I've taken them out. Overall though, you can do a lot of easy things with my hair like this, like just tie the headband and put your hair in a one or whatever, and you know, but your hair is out now. It does not have the protection of being meshed into that lock, so you do have to take more care of it. I would say overall though, it all depends on your personality what you end up doing, but I would like more women to view natural hair as hair, and you know, it's one hair. We're so willing to view hair as hair when it comes to weave, but what about your own hair? Do stuff with your hair, you know. There's all sorts of styles you can cut locks, or plain natural hair into, and different things you can do to make your hair lovely and walk around looking fabulous. So remember to love yourself. Remember to do things that show that you really love yourself, and not just that you are acting like you love yourself, because as soon as you get yourself fixed, then it makes it a lot easier to love everybody else that's in your life. God bless.